So this evening we are going to show you how we make our homemade butter from our fresh cream when we milk Buttercup, our milk cow. So it takes a couple days to get enough cream saved up to make the butter. But every day, every day when we milk her, we put the milk in the refrigerator, of course, then the cream rises to the top and we scrape off the cream and we put it in little jars and put it back in the fridge then. And then when we have enough, we make the butter. So, first thing though is once you have enough saved up, take it out of the fridge and let it get to room temperature. It's not going to really make butter if it's too cold or too hot. It has to just be at the good temperature of room temperature. So, you can't leave it out for too long, or it can't be too cold as well. So, we have this taken out from this afternoon. So, I'm going to pour these into my bowl. And like I said, this is from, probably, 4 to 5 days of cream. It's okay, there's a little bit of milk in there from when we scraped it off because it will go away, or it'll turn into the buttermilk, but it's okay, right? And I probably can put this in it too. It's a big enough bowl. Okay. Now, we could scrape off that cream, but I think we'll do it. Okay, so now we're going to put it into the mixer. Now, we have made butter. We like to make butter by shaking it in the jars, but, okay, so, like I said, so we have the cream in here now, and we like to make it by hand too. Instead of using the mixer, we just put the cream in one of these mason jars, put the lid on it, and then you just have to shake it. And like, we could give one to each of our kids, and we just sit, watch a show, and we just shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it. Pretty much by the time the show's over, we have butter. So sometimes we do it that way, but this is just a quicker and easier way when you don't want to sit and shake it. Today we're not going to be sitting around, so we're not going to do that. So we're going to put it in the mixer. Now, it's always a good idea to put a towel cloth or paper towel over this because it could splurt out some of the cream and it'll just make a mess. So we're going to start it off on kind of low. And it doesn't take very long to start making butter. So then, once it starts making butter a little bit, we can make it a little bit faster. So I just don't want the cream to go everywhere, the milk part of it. But I guess I can show it to you because it's not really doing that right now, so you can see what it looks like. Once we go faster, we may have to put the towel over it, like right now. Now you just have to let this do this for a couple minutes, and then I'll show you. Let me go and see what time it is so I know how long this takes so I can tell you. I'll be right back. Alright, so we checked the time, and so now I can time this and I'll be able to tell you in a little while how long it takes for this to whip it up. And so while we're waiting for this, I could talk to you about fresh butter a little bit. We like fresh butter a lot. It's really nice to have it. We use butter a lot for baking and for eating, on toast and things like that. Biscuits, right, with honey. My kid's favorite. And so one little trick about fresh butter that I could share with you that we do that I didn't know about before, but we did it and it worked well, is if you make a lot of the butter all, at once, or if you're making it like, once a week, but you don't use all the butter in 1 week, but you want to keep making it because you have the cream, then what you can actually do, what worked well, is we froze the butter. So you wouldn't think to freeze butter, because actually butter doesn't freeze, right? I mean, it actually doesn't freeze because it's cream, but it keeps it fresh. It keeps it fresher than in the refrigerator, like lots of other things, right? You can put things in the freezer to keep them fresh. And when it comes out, though, because butter doesn't freeze, it's still usable, right? It's kind of like when you buy sticks of butter, right? How they're hard. That's kind of what it is like, the consistency. So if you want to use it as spreadable butter, you would have to leave it out from the freezer a little bit. But to use it for baking or whatever, you can just take it right out of the freezer. So that's a really nice trick that we learned. And if you want to look here really quickly at this, see how it's really starting to get thicker and foamier. That means butter is being made, for sure. So, okay, we'll let it keep going. And also, another quick thing that I'll say that we're really blessed and thankful for, having our milk cow, of course, Buttercup. Because some people, when they want to make fresh butter, they have to go and buy whipping cream. So, buying whipping cream to make fresh butter, I mean, okay, but you had to buy the cream, right? So, gratefully, I'm very thankful that we have our own cow so we can have our own cream and we don't have to buy anything to make the butter, right? So, very thankful and very blessed to be able to have that God has blessed us with. So, that's an amazing thing. I mean, if you want to do this by buying whipping cream, that's okay, but just make sure you buy heavy whipping cream, not just milk. Can't be milk. Has to be the cream is what makes the butter, right? So, and then you're going to have once this makes butter, there still will be liquid in it, and that liquid is what you call buttermilk. So that's where, you can buy buttermilk sometimes, or you've heard people having buttermilk. That's where that is coming from. So that's not just regular milk. That is your leftover from when making butter. When butter is made, the leftover liquid is considered, and that's what is called buttermilk. So we save the buttermilk. We make biscuits with it. People can drink it. We don't drink it, but I do know people that do drink it. You can do lots of things with buttermilk, I'm sure. So you kind of get a lot of different things that you can when you make butter. So, let's see now, it's starting to get a little thicker. For sure. This is a kind of a full bowl. We kind of did use a lot of cream. If you were using a smaller amount, it probably wouldn't be taking as long. So, you can do it in smaller batches if you want. We just happen to have this cream, so. Okay, so we're back with the butter, and it has made butter. So I had to turn it off because, as you can tell on my towels, I mean, it's sloshing around because now there's butter in it, and it makes a sloshy sound. So you'll know that by looking at it and hearing it. But also what is happening, see, it's already making a mess. I need some more paper towels. Because it's sloshy now, that buttermilk is being spit out of there. So that's why I had to turn it off, because it will make a disaster. So, everybody, look at the butter. There it is. Okay? So, like I said, totally butter. And what's left in the bowl is buttermilk. So, now, our next step will be rinsing the butter. We take it off of here, put it in a small bowl. We take it to the sink, cold water, as cold as you can get it, rinse it, and smash it. Alright, so now we're going to get the butter off of here into this bowl, like I said, so we can rinse it. And then we're going to drain our buttermilk into this jar over there. So, I guess I'm just going to use my hands. I mean, it's really pretty butter. Definitely prettier than store-bought, I have to agree. It's messy. Don't think making butter is a clean, it's easy, but it's messy. But if you can have it set up, your equipment set up good and stuff, you know, it won't be too bad. And like I said, definitely tip, cover it with a towel or a paper towel when it's mixing this up because of the splashing. But it comes off easy. I mean, look at that. It's easy to get off, you know. I mean, butter really sticks together really nicely. And I wonder, I guess we're going to pour that, and then if there's butter in the bowl, then we will put it in here as well. So I'm going to put that right there on that thing. Now, I got a paper towel really quick, wipe off my hands. And then let's pour the buttermilk to see if there's any more butter in the bowl. Put the butter over here. So I just have a funnel and a milk filter that we use to filter the milk when we milk her. Just, you know, if there's any butter in it, we keep it out of this jar for the buttermilk. So I hope I can pour this without spilling it. I'm a little nervous, but I'm just going to do it. Yeah, there is pieces of butter still in the bowl. So. This is a lot of, now let me tell you another quick tip that we learned. Don't use so much cream at once. You saw how much I used. That was really a lot. It made a little bit of a mess there at the end. So if you do it in smaller batches, it'll be less messy. Of course, it still worked fine, but it was just a little messy there toward the end because, like I said, once it turns into butter, this buttermilk is splashing out of the mixer a lot because it's sloshing that heavy butter around, and the liquid is not. So definitely. Oh, and also it took about. It started at 7:13, and we ended about. It was like 15 minutes. But that was, and we did a lot. Now, if you do less too, it's going to be less time too. So that's really just, you know, it's done. It doesn't take a lot. It's not a lot of time, but it's a little bit. So we have a little bit of butter left here in the thing that I'm just, once I drain out this buttermilk, I will put it in the bowl with the butter. I thought there was a little bit of butter left in the bowl. But look how much buttermilk that is. I mean, so if you like buttermilk, or if you know anybody who likes buttermilk, and you make your own butter, look at that. Those people, or yourself if you like it, look how much you get from not that much butter. So, I mean, that's a good amount of butter, but you know. Oh, let me say, not a lot of cream, right? I mean, that was like what? That 1 pint was like this, so that was probably like 2 pints and a quart, but of course some of that was milk, so I don't really know the exact measurement of how much cream that was, but 2 pints and a quart of cream milk made this much butter. So I don't know, I mean, I don't know, if this was sticks of butter, I don't know how many you think that would make. So that would probably be a box of butter right there, which, you know, a box of butter here at our house is like $6 or $7. So there you go. $6 or $7 worth of butter from milking the cow, you know, for however many days. So, okay. Now, plus you get buttermilk, plus you get milk. So actually you get 3 things for the price of, well, and so like if you had your own cow, you wouldn't have to buy the milk, you wouldn't have to buy the butter, you wouldn't have to buy the buttermilk. You wouldn't have to buy the yogurt if you made your own yogurt. So really, actually, it does save money to have your own milk cow. Now, a lot of people would say they would not agree with that because they don't have it. But let me tell you, it doesn't take a lot of money and it doesn't take a lot of stuff to have your own milk cow. So if you can, I would suggest you have your own milk cow. Okay, so I'm going to dump this butter into that. Okay. So, here's our buttermilk. Now, I will see you guys at the sink to rinse. Our next step is rinsing and kneading our butter. Hold on. Now, we are here with the butter to rinse it out. This is the butter in the bowl, And see that liquid? So that's still buttermilk, right? Because see, it's cloudy. It's not clear yet. So we need cold water. So I let it run for a minute. And it's going to, we're going to rinse this out until the buttermilk gets all out. Because if you do not get all the buttermilk out, your butter will not last as long. That buttermilk's going to go bad. So you just keep doing like that. And then getting this in here and pressing it out. And once your water runs clear, then you will know you have gotten all of the buttermilk out. And you just kind of flip it over and knead it down, squeeze out the buttermilk. It's pretty simple to know because of the cloudiness and the clearness. You can already tell that that water is getting clearer. It's not all the way there yet, but you can tell it doesn't take too much. I mean, that water is seriously getting a lot clearer. Since, you know, straigning it out. Now, some people, I think, use cheesecloth. I think that they squeeze it out through. I think it's easier to just use your hands. See, look at that water. Look how much clearer that water is. So really, we are really close to being good. I think cheesecloth to me would make it messier. I have a feeling the butter would stick to it, but some people do it differently. So however you want to do it is okay. But as you can tell, the way I'm doing it, it's easy. It's not even getting my hand that dirty. Because butter, I mean, especially with this cold water, you know, it really gets it to be stuck together. And butter and water don't really mix, so that's why it works. I mean, the water doesn't do anything, you know, to the butter because of what the butter is made of. So we're getting really close to our next step. Squeeze it a couple more times, and then it should be good. I think it's good, actually. Look how clear that water is. Okay, so now, let me turn the water off, and I will tell you what our next step is. Let me get this off of this bowl here. Okay, now, our next step is to salt it. Now, you don't have to salt it, but we like to salt it a little bit. So you really just salt it to taste. Now, we're using kosher salt, so our salt, we'll have to use a little bit more because it's kosher salt. But if you're just using table salt, you know, just a couple sprinkles. So I will just do, like I said, just a tad bit. Let me just put some in my hand. And like a little dash. Let me put this. So see, that's not that much, right? So I might not even actually use that much that I put in my hand. And then you just kind of mix it in. I'm going to flip it over. Put a little bit on this side. Because you don't really want to over salt it. That probably would not be good. It's going to make your butter really salty. So, okay. So maybe just a tad bit more, and then I think I will be done with the salt. Okay. Now, I'm just going to squeeze it one more time to get any liquid out. I have that little bit left. Because the salt will also make the liquid come out more because it's salt. So that is the effect of salt on the butter as well. Not really hardly coming up. So now I'm going to put it into my dish. So I have a butter dish right here that we keep this out. It actually goes, my butter goes in here and it flips over and it sits in water. Okay? And then we use this for spreadable butter. And then I'm going to put the rest in there. I'm going to put it in the freezer. Like I said, we like to freeze our butter. So it's really actually very fun to make butter and to do this because it's like really soft and stuff. And it's really squishy and pretty and slippery. So sorry about that. Alright, so see? Sorry I wasn't showing that to you guys. Alright, now come over here. Alright, and there we go. So I push this in. Look at that. I pretty much got the exact amount that would go in there. Alright, so that one's that one. So I'm going to put this in my butter dish. And then right here, this one, I'm going to put this in the freezer. And it'll be ready to use when we're ready. So thank you so much for watching how we make our homemade butter with Buttercup's milk. That's hard to say. And please push a thumbs up if you like it. Leave us comments if you guys make homemade butter. Or if you have any questions, we love comments. And please subscribe to our channel and ask your family and friends too as well. Because it blesses our family, which in turn we can bless you guys and more with God's love. Thanks for watching. Bye.